Welcome everybody to this fifth installment in the series called Fight to Win. We're going to have an awesome time. Y'all stay tuned. It's going to be awesome.
Hey, hello everybody once again. This is Femi from Femi Diaries. You're welcome once again to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel again is all about inspiring, uplifting, helpful content that will help you on a daily basis to really get through the day and get through the things that we all go through in life. I'm coming today with the fifth installment in this series called Fight to Win. Sadly, I'm planning for now, this will be the concluding series. Maybe we'll pick it up again in the future. And again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I want to encourage you today to subscribe to Femi Diaries, like my videos, subscribe to the channel, give a thumbs up to it, leave some comments for me so that I could respond to your comments also. That's something I would really love to do. This fifth series of this installment called Fight to Win, I really want to kind of just talk very briefly about something I believe is really important for us to really kind of consider at this time in our world. We are a few days from the election here in the United States, and generally all around the world, we see a lot of turbulence, we see a lot of upheavals, a lot of killing of people, a lot of loss of life, loss of property. A lot of people have lost their businesses. The economy is affected worldwide. So many things have happened and everybody's searching for answers. Everybody's trying to say, okay, what do we do now? What's the next thing? What next thing can happen? What next thing can go wrong? And people are afraid. People are scared. They're afraid for their lives, for their family, for their livelihoods. Because it's almost like, okay, we might lose our jobs, we might lose our livelihoods. But in the midst of all this uncertainty, in the midst of all these upheavals, and in the midst of all that is going on in our world today, I want to say that there is an answer. And in this fifth installment of the series called Fight to Win, I really plan to share that with us very briefly though. But if we're going to really get to the bottom of the problems that mankind has, I have an antidote. I have a solution that has never been known to fail. Now, this is one of those options that we haven't tried yet. As a country, as a people, we need to use this antidote. If we use this antidote worldwide, there will be solution to the problems in the world. Just kind of to be a little bit comical and playful here, let me play something for you that I think some of you might remember. If you were born anytime in the 80s or the 90s, you know, maybe the 70s also, you remember this. This was a big one.
For the first time in my life, I see I need love. There I was, giggling about the games that I had played with many hearts, and I'm not saying no names. Then the thought occurred, teardrops made my eyes burn, cause I said to myself, look what you've done to her. I can feel it inside, I can't explain how it feels. All I know is that I'm never dishing up the raw deal, playing make-believe, pretending that I'm true. Holding in my laugh as I say that I love you, saying I'm more, kissing you on the ear.
I need love.
I love you and I'll always be here. Although I often reminisce, I can't believe that I found a desire for true love floating around
True love.
inside my soul, because my soul is
And that's the title of my discussion or my conversation today. It's really about love. Now he's talking about love with a girl and a boy. But we really want to go deeper than that. That's a type of love. A love a man and a woman can share. But what the kind of love I want to talk about is the love that the Bible talks about. It's called agape love. It's an unselfish love. It's a love that gives of itself. A love that is not proudful. A love that doesn't take from others. A love that doesn't leave others less than they are. If we're going to solve the problems that we have, this is the solution. A love that never fails. A love that prefers others to ourselves. Look at the layers of problems we have in the world today. There is no way we're going to solve them by ourselves. Now, first of all, I stand here as someone who this kind of love, unconditional love, has made me still have another opportunity in life. Like everybody else, I've failed in so many ways. I've done things I shouldn't do. I've not been the best version of myself in so many ways. But somebody decided to love me and give me an unconditional love. And I'm talking about Jesus. He gave me unconditional love when I didn't deserve it, when, I'd done everything wrong, everything against him, against what is right. Now, that's the kind of love we're talking about. A love that will look beyond your faults, a love that will look beyond your insufficiencies, your weaknesses, your inability to get things right, and still love you and still want the best for you. That's the kind of love that will save this world. That's the kind of love that will prevent people from looting, people from demonstrating, people from being unjust, people from having, being racial, allowing racial discrimination, being racist, all these different problems we're talking about in the world today, where we have people today not even loving their citizens enough to care for their needs, their basic human needs. If we're going to solve these problems, then all of us are going to have to rise to be the better man and love our neighbors. There's something I just want to read very briefly here that kind of begins to help us to really see what this love really is a little bit clearly. Now, I'm reading from the Bible, and I just want to read a few verses to us. It says here, if I gave everything I have to the poor and even sacrificed my body, I could boast about it. But if I don't love others, I would have gained nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever truth wins out. Love never gives up. That's huge right there. Love never gives up. Never loses faith. It's always hopeful and endures through every circumstance. Love never loses hope. Love endures through every circumstance. Love never gives up. Love never fails. This is what our world needs today. We need to come back to the beginning. Again, when I started the series, I talked about how we all started, how this whole thing started with two, Adam and Eve, and a God that loved them. That was how we all started. They were all together in that garden. They had a good time. They loved one another. There was no hypocrisy. There was no racial issues. There were no difficulties. There were no disagreements. There were no problems until the introduction of another spirit called Satan that brought all these problems that we are having today in our world. Now they've multiplied so much that we really don't even know how to solve them anymore. If we are being honest, there are so many layers to the problems that are going on in the world that we really don't have the solutions to them. So what am I saying in this 5th series of Fight to Win? If we're going to fight to win, not just even starting from our personal self, if we're going to fight to win in our personal lives, first of all, like I did, we're going to have to surrender to somebody who really loves us, Jesus, and get his love into our lives. That will help us to feel so much better about ourselves. We will love ourselves so much more. We will be able to give up all our failures and say, okay, take my failures and give me peace. Take my failures and give me joy. Take my failures and help me to become a better version of myself. You can't do that by yourself. How many people have tried to do that but have not been able to? We need the help of someone greater than us, and that's Jesus. And his love will do that in our lives. And not just that one-time experience, but throughout our lives on a daily basis, we continue to draw from his love. His love helps us to overcome rejection. His love helps us to overcome every kind of issue that we might be facing in our lives. A lot of people have low self-esteem. A lot of people are struggling with identity. A lot of people feel less than a human. They feel that they're not worth much. You know, having grown up again, like I keep saying, without my dad, you know, as a man, I didn't feel I was a man. But getting to really get to know God and receiving this love Jesus gave me has really helped me to heal and has really helped me to see myself more. Now, I'm not perfect. There's still so many things I have to walk through on a daily basis, but I'm so much better than where I was before because of his love. Now, that's in my personal life. Having received that love, I've been able to give that love to my family also. I've been able to give it to my friends and my family members and those I walk with on a daily basis. I've been able to share in a little way in my community and express that love by giving back and by doing things from my heart, not out of wanting some kind of a return, but a selfless love, which is what Jesus gave me. So what am I saying in this 5th series of Fight to Win? We really have to come all the way back to where we started from. We were creatures of love. There was a loving Father, Heavenly Father, that loved us so much and gave us everything he has. He loved us so much that he made us almost equals with him. We need to come back there. If our societies are going to make it, if we're going to make it in governance, if we're going to make it and change and turn the tide of events in many of the countries in our world today, look at where everything is right now, the economy of our nations. Look at where relationships, interrelationships between different countries, look at where it is. It's chaos everywhere, but there's hope. Now, let me answer a question that I know some people out there might be asking. So if this God is so loving and so kind and so good, why is he allowing everything that is going on to go on? I'm going to give you an answer that I really believe is the truth. This God we're talking about, he always wants to be invited in. He always wants to be brought into a situation. If it's not brought into a situation, he doesn't just show up and just take over. That's what the enemy, Satan, does. When he's not invited, he comes into a situation and he begins to do whatever he wants to do. But God, Jesus, is not like that. He wants to be invited. He wants you to say, okay, we want your help. So why do we have chaos in our world today? Why are many of our governments struggling and not treating the citizens right? Because we need to invite God in. If we invite him in, then he will come. And when he comes, things will be different. So he's waiting on us. We are waiting on him, but he is waiting on us to invite him in, to say we want him to help us out. Our governments need to say to him, our citizens need to say to him, we want you to help us. Come in and help us in our families. Come in and help us in our neighborhoods. Come in and help us in our communities. Come in and help us in our government. Come in and help us on our jobs. Come in and help us as professional people. We need your help. When we ask for the help of the one true loving God, we will get his help. That's how he operates. He doesn't just break in and do stuff. He wants to be invited. So my plea to everybody out there listening to this video today is, you invite him in. You let him come in. Ask him into your own life. Ask him into your family. Ask him into your business. Ask him into your career. Ask him into your neighborhood. Ask him into your community. Ask him into your city. Ask him into your state. Ask him into your country. And when he comes in with his love. And we just read about that. His love is kind. His love is patient. His love does not hold wrong against people. His love is eternal, an unconditional love, a sacrificial love, a love that many of us have never experienced, including myself, until I met him. This is the love that will save our world. I tried to get this message out just before our elections here in this country because I want people to know that in spite of everything that is going on in our country, there's a God out there that loves them and wants to be invited into the affairs of man. If we invite him into the affairs of man, he will come in and he will begin to help us change things around. We cannot do it ourselves. We've tried for how many years? We've not succeeded because there are unscrupulous elements in every government. There are people who don't want to do the right thing. There are people who are selfish and who it's all about them. But the love we're talking about is an unselfish love. A sacrificial love, a love that prefers others to ourselves, a love that we give of ourselves to others. That's what will save our cities. That's what will save our country. That's what will save our personal lives and make us feel better about ourselves, feel more meaning in our lives, feel that we are on an assignment. We are here to do something greater than ourselves. Look at true history. Everybody that has really lived the life that we remember today, it has been because they went beyond themselves to become a hero to somebody else, to live out something greater than themselves. What was the motivating factor? Not just the fact that they had a passion to do it, but because love drove them. They loved those group or population of people. They loved what they did. Nelson Mandela, for an example, Martin Luther King, they pushed to bring change because of the love that motivated them for mankind. This is a challenge for all of us today. To get to a place where we are not only selfish or thinking about ourselves, we think about the greater good of mankind and we want to love mankind. Love will win all the battles we have in our world today. Love will win. Love never fails. And the kind of love I'm talking about, to really put a description on it, is the heavenly love, the love that came down from God. It's called agape love. It's unconditional. And that's what we need in our world today. I'm going to pick it up from here. You guys stay tuned. There's still so much more to come in this fit series of Fight to Win on love. Stay tuned.
Terrorism, but we still got terrorists here living in the USA. The KKK. I can't believe they're still hating blacks today. Cause if you only have love for your own race, then you only leave space to discriminate. And to discriminate only generates hate. And when you hate, then you're bound to get irate. Yeah, madness is what you demonstrate. And that's exactly how hate works and operates. Man, you gotta have love and to set it straight. Take control of your mind and meditate. Let your soul gravitate to the love.
People killing, people dying, children hurt and you hear them crying. Can you practice what you preach? And would you turn the other cheek? Father, 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 help us. Send some guidance from above. These people got me questioning. Where is the love? The love. Where is the love? The love. The love. Where is the love? The love.
Hey everybody, this is Femi from Femi Diaries back again. Just kind of developing further our discussion on love. You know, when I look at the amount of things we have to deal with in our society. Let's just look back 8 to 10 months. Let's just look at this year, 2020, for example. The amount of things that have happened, the amount of things we have to deal with. Before we talk about socio-economical issues, we talk about political issues, we talk about famine and the unrest we've seen in different parts of the world. Talk about racism, injustice, racial discrimination. We talk about poverty. We talk about, where do we really even want to start from if we're trying to find solutions to the problem of mankind? There's so many layers to the problems that, if we're being honest with ourselves, we know we don't have the answers. That reminds me of Kanye and Sway. Kanye told Sway, said, "Sway, you don't have the answers." And he was true. We don't have the answers as a group of people. We don't have the answers to any of the issues we're talking about. Because not just there are different levels and different layers to the problems we are facing, but when we look at mankind, everybody takes sides. Everybody has a faction. Everybody has his own. You talk about the left wing, the right wing. You talk about people. Everybody is only interested in representing his own people, or the people that they share the same views and values with. And for us to solve the problems we have, it's going to take love. Love is sacrificial. Love it suffers long. It's patient. Now, when you look at let's just take it home and just talk about what happens just in your own home with your kids, with your significant other. If you don't overlook faults, if you don't overlook things, if you're not being patient, if you're not being kind, you obviously know that relationship will always, your relationship with even your nuclear family will always be on the rocks. You won't build good or lasting relationships. Now, take that 100-fold and look at it in a global perspective. That's what we're dealing with today. And that's why we need love. Love, the Bible says, covers a multitude of sins. The kind of love I'm talking about, because even these days we need to really define our terms well. Everybody sees things and everybody speaks about things in their own perspective. Now, when I talk about love, I'm talking about the love that God has. The Bible says God is love. His love is sacrificial. His love is committing itself to us. His love is giving of himself, even when it cost him. His love is bearing with us, being long-suffering, letting us act up a fool and still leave us alone and keep loving us and keep expecting us to do the right thing. How many humans really can live that way? Except if we really have a godhood, a way we see things, where we allow God to kind of affect our thinking and our way and our approach. We don't live that way. It's not natural or normal for us to love people that way, to let people have their way, to let people win, to let people prefer others to ourselves. So when I begin to talk about love in this 5th series of Fighting to Win, we can begin from home and look at it in a very personal way with our spouses, with our children, and begin to see what impact love will make, what difference it will make in our homes. It will make our homes so much more peaceful, so much more happy. It will improve the quality of our relationships. It will enrich them. People who have wronged us, offenses and things that we could get mad at, we will overlook. Then we begin to talk about maybe on our jobs, in our businesses, really beginning to practice a lifestyle of love. It will completely change and transform the culture of our businesses and of our enterprises and of what we do. Then we begin to look at it on the scale of the community and on the scale of the city. And then we begin to look at on at a national level. If we really practice love, the elections are just a few days away from now. If we really practice love the way we should, we won't see people looting other people's property out there. We won't see people harming other people. We won't see people doing any kind of thing that will not be to the best of other humans. Our political leaders, all those who are trying to get elected into office, they would prefer others to themselves. They would think about the masses. They would think about the people, to serve the people more than what they can get out of the government office. When we talk about it on a global scale, countries will not take advantage of other countries possessing their land and possessing the wealth in those countries that the citizens of that country should enjoy. They will deal with them in such a way that, just a business. You get something, they get something out of whatever transaction or whatever, collaboration is being done. But when we view things from the biblical standpoint of God's love, it will completely revolutionize our lives, our experience here on earth. How would it look? A world where love reigns. It's going to be really great. And these are some of the considerations I want us to have as we just begin to round up this series on Fight to Win. And really for now, the topic itself, just we getting to a place of fighting to win in our relationships, in our lives, in our businesses, in all that we do as a country, as a people. The concept of fighting to win with love, making love the rule, making love more like what decides what happens, will completely transform our experiences. I'm going to stop there for right now, but I just want us to think about some of the things we're talking about. The true love. Not a love that wants something back for everything it does. I'm talking about a sacrificial a self-sacrificing love. We'll pick it back up. I'll catch you guys soon. This is Femi from Femi Diaries over here. I have a very special guest with me. He's my brother, he's my friend, and he's also a man of God. And his name is Minister Mario. And I just want him to just kind of say a few words to us as we just begin to conclude this series called Fight to Win. Minister Mario, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing so well. Hello to you all. So glad that you all can make it on today. Just when I think about fighting to win, there's really two things that I think of. One is having the will to fight. See, the will, that means it's on the inside of you. See, God has placed on the inside of you that will to fight. But the thing is, we must also know who or what we're fighting. That means we must identify the enemy. So let's not have friendly fire. Let's actually attack and let's win over the enemy.
Wow, that's so awesome. Well, you heard it from him. I'll catch you guys as we keep going in this series. Okay. Hey, y'all. Femi back here again. I have another guest, y'all. And this is my sister. And she is Minister Mario. She's his wife. Her name is Ty. She's also awesome. She just wants to share a precious nugget with us real quick. Minister Ty, how you doing today?
Hello, family. I am so glad and so honored to be before you. I just want to share something with you about love. First of all, God is love. And I want to encourage you, just like others have encouraged you, that He loves you so much. And the other thing is that He will never leave you. He will never forsake you. God is always with you. So I want to say this, stay connected with God. When you stay connected with God, you will always win.
That's awesome. Wow. 2-in-1 today. I'll see you guys soon. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Femi here from Femi Diaries once again. And you guys are welcome once again to this 5th installment of Fight to Win. And, I could keep on going on this series, but I've just decided that for now, I'm going to make this the concluding series or session for this series. And, we're talking about love. And love is so powerful. As I've been talking and sharing, love is the answer to all our human problems, to be honest with you. And how many times, just by the way, I'm on my way to the mall right now, and My significant other is one of the most important people to me in my life. But how many times do we take our significant others for granted? You know, when we were courting and dating and all that, we spent a lot of time, you know, doing all the things to woo them and to bring them to ourselves and to really make them kind of love us. But then when we get to a point where we're married or whatever, we don't take as much time to do that. And I'm guilty of that also. Sometimes we take those people we love the most for granted. And our lives are never the same without them. And it's just a healthy practice to have things we do that really help us to really, you know, nourish those relationships in our lives. And that's something we want to kind of get used to doing. And just about going into this mall right now, I was thinking about her today, and I was like, you know what? I need to do something today for her. And you know, it doesn't have to be a special occasion or anything like that. But just taking a moment sometimes to do something that, you know, the one we love the most, you know, apart from our Heavenly Father God, but, you know, our significant others, do something special for them from time to time. Will really nourish our relationships, will really bring us closer to them, really help us to get to know them more. So, you know, just dropping those thoughts with us today as we keep building this series called Fight to Win. I'll catch you guys soon.